Okay, today we're just going to go over the homework, which was to review for your quiz, and I'm letting you check it right now. And just a couple reminders of how we summarized our conditional statements. We said if P, then Q. That was the conditional. And then the converse was if Q, then P. And then the inverse was not P, then not Q. And then the contrapositive was not Q, then not P. Okay, I just jotted down that kind of review that we did. Now, if yours is not identical to mine, that doesn't mean it's necessarily wrong, okay? Anybody who was not here yesterday, will you please come here and get a worksheet? You got too many people not, yeah, you need to take care of your absence stuff right away. I don't have time to stop all the time. Thank you. And you're just late? Okay, or whatever. Okay, so the intersection, you're supposed to write it in if-then form. It says the intersection of two planes is a line. So all I wrote was if two planes intersect, then the intersection is a line. Okay, that would be it in if-then form. The converse of the statement, if an animal is a Dalmatian, then it's spotted, would be the part P is the hypothesis, the Q is the conclusion. If you're writing the converse, you switch the hypothesis and conclusion. If you didn't write if an animal is spotted, that's okay. If you wrote if it is spotted, that's just fine, okay? As long as you have that it's spotted in the beginning and then it's a Dalmatian at the end. All right? You follow what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be totally identical to what I wrote, but it has to say the same thing, basically. Write the oh, by the way, if an animal is spotted, then it's a Dalmatian. That's false. Okay, it asks you to determine the truth value. Next one says, write the contrapositive of if two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. So I have to do the contrapositive, which means I have to do the negation of both the hypothesis and conclusion and flop it. So I have to say if they are not congruent, then two angles aren't vertical. Okay. Write the inverse of the conditional statement, all whole numbers are integers. Now, right here, guys, this probably isn't on your paper. You probably didn't write this down. Because all I did was first write it in if-then form, and then I wrote the inverse. The if-then form would be if a number is a whole number, then it's an integer. So the inverse would be if a number is not a whole number, then it's not an integer. Okay? Questions about 1 through 4? The answer is here. This is what the answer is to number 4. All right, this isn't just the time to be copying it all down. So if you didn't do it, I have to go on. This is supposed to be being checked, not done. If you have one you want me to start from scratch, I don't mind. But anyway, number 5, you're adding 15. So the next one will be 75, and the rule is to add 15. The next one, the next term will be 5, and the rule is to divide by -2. You okay? Okay. This one you did wrong? Does anybody need me to do this from scratch? The equation and stuff? All right, well, what would I do if I saw this picture? Well, it says that x is 7x, angle 3 is 7x plus 10, so that's this angle. And angle 4 is 5x plus 24. Those angles are called, yep, good job, vertical angles, which are congruent to one another. So therefore, I did 7x plus 10 is equal to 5x plus 24. Okay. Subtract 5x from both sides. And we would have that 2 times x plus 10 is 24. We would subtract 10, getting 2x equals 14, divide by 2 and get 7. Once we have 7, it asks us to find the measure of angle 4. So we do 5 times 7 plus 24, which is 35 plus 24, and that gives us 59. Now, there is a problem on one of the quizzes that's not necessarily going to come out nice. Like, you can get a decimal if I didn't put a really slick equation in or something, but most of them come out pretty nicely. I think there's one that comes out icky. This says what you want to do is state the postulate. Quite frankly, most of my students, I've noticed that anybody who's asked me about this has said, do I have to have both answers? And I said, no. Yes, the one I actually prefer is this one. Because I don't even like looking up which one it is. Because I don't remember. Your parents possibly, well, they're probably even younger than me, but I'm not young, I'm old. But anyway, if your parents are younger than I am, but they still probably had to, in geometry back in the day, we all say, had to memorize the dumb postulate numbers. I just don't see the point in that. That just, to me, isn't what the value of learning is. What learning is to know what the thing says. Okay? When I had high school, it was unfortunate. They made us memorize the numbers, and I was only allowed to know that. I had to know it was 2.2 and that's what it said. And I didn't get any notes. So we had to memorize it. Why do you want to complicate that into things? You know what I mean? It just seems like a waste. For me, I just assume you just know that if R, Q, and T are points that are non-collinear in the plane, they are in the plane. That they make a plane. That's what it says. 3 points determine a plane. 3 non-collinear points determine a plane. The line SO is contained in plane UNP. SO are in the plane, so the line is in there. That's because points S and O are in there. So if points S and O are on the plane, then the line's in the plane. Then that's what that postulate says for 2.5. So I'll take either answer, but what I really like better is for you to tell me what you know about why. All right, so let's go on to 10. 10 had to do with vertical angles also, and these angles are congruent because they're vertical. So the measure of angle 1 is 42, just like it is for angle 4. If it says complementary, that means they add to 90. So it said angle 3 and 4 add to 90, so that's what I did. I took the x plus 2 and the 5x plus 10, added them up, set it to 90, simplified, and solved. X plus 5x, 6x plus 12 equals 90. Maybe you can't read my writing. I wrote kind of fast this morning trying to make a key. Does anybody need me to do more with that problem? Okay, I got 13 for x. Then I went back and plugged it in and wrote down the angles because that's what it asked for. All right, so next on 12, I want to talk to you about number 12. So I'm going to start that one over. Does anybody know how to explain number 12? Tons and tons and tons of times this question gets missed. I don't even know if I have a question like this on the quiz today, but this really is important though. All right, Olivia? Well, I'm trying, it says they're collinear guys though, so that means that all 3 points have to be in one line. You know, it doesn't have to be that they're evenly spaced. So I'm not quite getting what you meant. Maybe you might be saying something and I'm not seeing what you're saying. Could you try to give me a hint? Good. Okay, good. This is where you're doing good. Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so this is good. There's nothing wrong with how we're approaching this. Does that make sense, guys? 3 plus 9 would be 12, and that's not, wait a minute. It doesn't say AC is 12. So something's wrong. It's not B that's in the middle. Do you see what I'm getting at? All right, so let me just start a different approach because I can make it easier with one suggestion. Look at the numbers and see which ones to put together to make the other one. So don't I have to put these together? So the 3 plus the 6 is 9. So if I got to do a segment that's 3 and a segment that's 6, I know that doesn't look bigger, then that would total 9, which means A to C is 9. So I need to do A to C, no, it's B to C that's 9. So that's what I got to put like that, which means what goes in the middle? That's how you figure it out. Take the two, so don't assume it's an order by letter order or anything. You've got to do something else. So in this diagram, that's because BA plus AC equals BC. Do you see what I'm saying now? BA plus AC equals BC because BA was 3, and I'm allowed to flop the letters. Plus 6 equals 9. That's why. So it's A that has to be in the middle in this particular situation. Okay, the conclusion of this statement, if an animal is a bird, then the animal has wings. An animal has wings. That's the conclusion. And describing the statement, if two lines intersect, the intersection is a point. That's one of our postulates. I think it was 2.6, but I don't really care. It's always true. And which best describes the statement, a plane contains 3 points. That would say, there's one that says, if you have a plane, oopsie, then you have 3 points. That's how we even drew it out yesterday. It looked like that. If you have a plane, then you have 3 points. That was postulate something, 2.4, I think it was. But whatever, it's always true. I don't know why we did always. Now, the distance formula I'm concerned with and the midpoint. Okay, the answer to 14 is either 6.6 or 6.55, depending on how you rounded. DC is 19.1. Do you want to go over these? Or one of them at least, or what? Preston, for my first hour, took its time and poster board to make a poster. We put it up yesterday. Caden's got it up there for us. Don't forget that that's up there that you can follow. Do you want me to talk about how to type it in at all? No, we're good? Because some people, this has really been like the worst thing we're getting the most, we're getting bad grades on. Some people are. Do the midpoint? Okay. All right, so midpoint is when you add the x's and divide by 2. So you got to take your x values, -3 and -10. But you need to, guys, here's what a lot of people are doing. They're doing this, and they're writing this, but then they're getting the answer wrong because they type it. Add these first. -3 plus -10, that's -13 divided by 2. It should be -6.5. And then if you add the y's, 8 plus -7, you get, and divide by 2, you get 1 divided by 2, which is 0.5. Right? And then over here, these are the answers for distance and midpoint. Do we want to go over that one at all? None of you? Would we? Okay, can you tell me what you have in your first parenthesis? Well, that's correct. Okay, and then what's in your second parenthesis? -8. So you have it just like me. Okay, why don't we try opening the calculator, guys. Let's practice typing it in one time, please, because it will help you if you've been having trouble with this. I hope that might help. Okay, well, let's just type it over again and see what happened. So it's good for me to get everybody to type it. So let's just do parenthesis. Oh, I don't know why I had a fancy parenthesis there, but I'm just going to hit, I had the second button hit. I forgot the numbers now. Can you tell me what they were? Was it -10 minus -3 minus -3. Okay, close it and then hit the squared button. Plus parenthesis. What were the y values? -7 minus 8. So that's how we typed it, or we wrote it down when we subtracted. All right, is anybody having a problem with these looking wrong, something wrong there? Because you got to use the negative key and the minus key. When you mean subtract, use the subtract. When you mean negative, you got to push that button. So this is what it should look like. And then you should hit enter. And you get 274. It turned off on you. Okay, we're going to have to put new batteries in it. So then you hit second, x squared, and you put in the 274. And there's where I got the 16.55 or 16.6 if you go to the 10th. All right, and this one was square root of 365, I think. The numbers on the quiz are, I don't know, they're different. They're just different points. All right, now, this was the tricky kind, so I'll go over this thing once, and then we're going to have to do it. Yes, ma'am. The arrow up. Faster. You don't have that arrow key. That shouldn't have come out wrong, Olivia, so I don't know. I'll have to check too. Garrett? Nathan. Midpoint, x plus x divided by 2, y plus y divided by 2. You gotta Did you? Okay. Oh, okay. What? All right, I'm gonna give you a different calculator or something and try to figure it out, all right? Wait, nope, so I gotta get batteries. Well, we're all of a sudden having calculator problems. We'll make sure you got one that works for the quiz, okay? All right, let's do this quick, so otherwise we gotta get started. So everybody finished in all my classes, and we're gonna do that in here too. If m's the midpoint, and it's at -2, 4 of segment AB, and B is at -6, 10, and it wants you to find the other end. This is the tricky kind in your ISN, and you have notes on it. I've taught you 2 ways to do it. We're going to give it again. It's on the quiz again. -6 to -2. How far is that? Did you go up 4 or down 4? If you're going that way. You guys, if you're going that way. Now, if you're going from -6 to -2, you are going up. If you're going from there, you're going up another 4. So we're going to do 4 plus -2. All right, whatever. 4. You're adding 4 to -2. That gives you a 2. All right, then if you're going from 10 to 4, you're going from 10 to the 4. That's going down how much? Down again 6. 4 minus 6. All right, now I just made this problem up. The numbers can be completely different. I don't know what they are, but it's how you got to look at it. Now the other option, so the answer is 2, -2. There's another option, and we wrote it in the ISN. It said, take the midpoint, -2, 4, double it, 2 times -2, and subtract the endpoint value of x. So I'm doubling this -2 and I'm subtracting -6. Subtract -6. That will give you -4 plus 6, which is 2. Same answer. Okay. Otherwise, and the other one, if you want to do the y part, double the y part, 2 times 4, and subtract the y part of the endpoint, -10, and that'd be 6 minus 10. I just did that wrong. That's 8, not 6. 8 minus 10, which is -2. Boom. Same thing. Okay? Double the midpoint, subtract the endpoint, or you're going to just do, how far is it from there, do it again. All right, hopefully more of you will get it right this time. Okay, back to here, please. On 17, name a pair of vertical obtuse angles. There had two vocabulary words, vertical and obtuse. The quiz might say vertical and acute. Obtuse means bigger than 90. Okay, bigger than 90. All right, you got to turn this worksheet in. Anyway, you don't have to write all these notes on it. We're just turning it in. But if I want obtuse, I'm going to erase the picture because I want to show you where I got my answers. And I went like this. I said, okay, I need some fat angles, and they also have to be made by lines that cross. So I grabbed, I thought, okay, what do I got? I got fat angles up here. I got a line that goes across like that and a line that goes across like that. I got to look for them there. So there's one of them, ABC and FBD. Okay? If I wanted acute ones, then I could have done this one and this one. If I want adjacent angles, then I could have done these two, this one and this one. FBA and ABC, those are adjacent. Okay, and then it says, what does perpendicular mean? You better know because it's on the quiz. Perpendicular means you get formed right angles, segments or rays or lines that make right angles. And then this one says ABE. That's this whole angle from here to here is 82. So what I did was I added those and set it to 82. And I solved it. Okay, and I got 10. Good enough? That's it. We're going to do our quiz now. All right, pass up those reviews. I'm just going to give some points for having done your review. I don't want the homeworks today because I don't want everybody having to search for that right now, so I didn't say anything. Tomorrow, I'm going to let you ask me more about 2.5, and then I'm going to collect 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5. Oh. Okay, ISN and calculate.